Okay, man. Let's see how bad this goes. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see. I'm gonna go live with this thing. Hmm. All right. That looks better. What's up, everybody? Well, y'all jumped on here quick, boy. When somebody go live, y'all be on it. I feel that. I hope y'all are doing well. Let's see. I am testing some things out so I can make sure that tomorrow goes very smooth. Let's see. This is different. This is very different. But the cool part about this is normally I would be doing this on a webcam using weird audio, but now we're using the setup that you guys are normally used to seeing when we're doing like full videos. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the whole reason why we're doing it this way. It looks so much better, right? Like you're actually here with me in the garage, right? And it just looks like a regular video, which I think is really cool. I geek out over this kind of stuff, but it took me a long time to kind of just finally pull the trigger and get this stuff set up. Enable chat box. Is the chat box not enabled? It should be. No, it's definitely on. Chat's on. It's weird if it's not. Which is why we're doing this today. So I don't have to worry about this stuff tomorrow. Wait a minute. Did I set the wrong video live? Set the wrong video live. Your boy set the wrong video live. That's why. Oh, oops. Lesson learned. Bump, 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 bump. Let's see. Y'all gonna be getting notifications out the wazoo. Okay, now we got something going on. All right. Oh boy, it gets kind of confusing when you're doing this over and over and over again. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, now there we go. Now you guys can actually. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've done this like 4 different times today to try to get this stuff set up, but there we go. How y'all doing, man? Y'all doing good? It's not every day you get me on a live setup. Let's see. But yeah, I'm just out here chilling in the garage, man. I'm trying to get this stuff set up. So tomorrow it goes smoother than the way it's going now. What YouTubers do you think you could beat up in a cage fight? What kind of question is that? Who can I beat up in a cage fight? Oh man. Okay, you have to be specific. Like, that's too broad of a question. Like, let's drill this down. Give me like a genre of YouTubers. Like I'm like not like out of shape, but I'm not like the best in shape either. Studying for a neurology quiz on Monday. You better pass that thing, man. You definitely better pass that. What's up, James? I want to see you in Shade Tree, honestly. Dude, Shade Tree's like, let me see. I weigh like 165. Shade Tree probably weighs at least like 240, 250. And Shade Tree doesn't look like he's like like he's not like super fit, but he's got like backyard country strength. Where it's just like you look at, he can like lift a bulldozer. Like no, bro, no. Shade Tree ain't about to beat me up, man. Eric Steven, 602 North, Tom Outlaw, Nathan Outback Outlaw, 87.6. Yeah, but if you guys are just jumping on here, man, this isn't like the stream for the giveaway or nothing. I'm just testing everything. Yo, he's about 300. Oh, dear God. No, dude. He's almost twice my weight. No, that's not to say like, people that are smaller weights can't beat up people with bigger weights, but like UFC and stuff like that. But no, oh God, no. No, he'd wipe the floor with me. Shader's not a small boy, but you got heart, man. I got heart. I won't have a heart after that. I'll be toast. But hey, yo, give me some feedback. How does the audio and stuff sound? How does it look? Because you guys got me live right here in the garage. Like, so this isn't like obviously a recorded thing, but I am very curious to know what the audio and stuff sounds like. 300 pounds, man. Of ether, bro. You got Shade Tree's got no stamina. You had a breath walking across the garage. You would be surprised. I was with Shade Tree at the Harley Pan America event, and that was, you guys only got like, condensed versions of the entire like ride thing that we did, but all the training and stuff that we had to do, not only were we out there like physically like walking the bikes, like we would walk the bikes by hand with like clutch out to kind of get like to find the balance, and then we did all these different drills. And even like right after that, Shade Tree would go and knock back like 5 beers and just like get back on the bike the next day like nothing happened. Like dude's built different, man. Don't scare me like this. This ain't the drawing. No, this is not the drawing. This is not the drawing. The drawing's tomorrow, guys. I'm just on here testing stuff because work out all the bugs, and plus just to hang out in the garage. Hey Brandon, how's the little lady coming along on learning to ride? She's still interested in learning. Yes, she still wants to learn how to ride. Basically, we're waiting. We're trying to get her and a couple of our friends to go with her to the Harley Davidson dealership, and we're going to do the rider course. And I'm thinking about getting her something from the auction and maybe having her help me rebuild it. So I think that'll be fun, but that's still a thing. That's still a thing. Volume is low. Clarity is good. Volume is low for me as well. Try turning up your volume, and I'll go back and play. Some people said a little bit low. Let's see. I can turn it up just a smidge. I appreciate you guys for the feedback. Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow we're probably gonna do the giveaway around like let's see, maybe like 12 o'clock. So that's 12 o'clock Central. So that's 10 a.m. on the West Coast and 1 p.m. Did I say? Yeah, 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. That's what I'm thinking anyway. And plus, there's a good chance that they're coming to get that bike tomorrow, the transporter. So I would hate to be live streaming and then the transporter pulls up and say, "Hey, I'm here to get the bike," and I'm like, crap. So trying to plan around that, and they give you a window, like they gave me a window of December 2nd through the 4th. They haven't called me today. They might call me early tomorrow morning and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be here at this time," and I'm like, "Well, crap, I planned my thing for this," so you kind of have to work around it. But have her build an 883 for fun. So what's considered a build? You talking about like an engine or just like a rebuild? Yeah, for the people that are saying the volume is low, I'll play around with it and tweak it. Live stream the transporter load up, dude. I might do that. We'll see. Get her a scout. Oh God, here we go. 883 scouts. Yeah, you might have to crank your volume up. Because I tend to put my volume more on the lower side because I don't want it to be too loud if your volume's all the way up and it just blares your ears and then you just freak out. Hey, y'all want to see, matter of fact, since you guys are talking about bikes, you want to see what's on the auction? Like, we can do that. Okay, let's get on the auction and see what we got. Let's do this. Let me pull up the auction. I'm gonna do, let's see. Okay, some people say the volume is perfect. Oh my goodness. Just gonna have to figure this out. Okay, Indian motorcycle. Let's see what they got out here, bro. Let's see. I appreciate the feedback. I know there's gonna be some variant stuff. What would you like to know, Juan, on the auction process? Because I've been pretty open about that kind of stuff. At least I try to explain it as well as I can anyway. Let's see, but anyway, okay. I think I actually saved this scout. Let's look at this one. This is a 2021 Indian Scout Bobber. Estimated repair costs $8,000. You can't really go too much off of that number because do you need a license? It depends on your state. And for me, in Alabama, you need a dealer's license, but I use brokers. So what you're looking at right now is a site called Auto Bidmaster. That's my broker that facilitates the buying process for me. The downside to that is I have to pay them fees on top of the co-part fees, which of course raises the price, but that's what you have to do in different states. But I'm also going through the process of getting something called a bid card, which would allow me to go to different auctions and not have to use the broker. So what I would recommend is you just go to your DMV, your Department of Motor Vehicles for your state, and just look that up. It takes like 5 minutes, and that'll give you all the information that you need. And if you need a broker, just go to Auto Bidmaster. That's what I use. There's a bunch of them out here, but I use Auto Bidmaster because they're tightly woven with Copart. They're like one and the same. So, but this one says a recommended bid of $5,800. Let's see what's going on with this thing. See, Super Chief has mid controls, right? How do they feel? I like forward controls. The mids are okay. I prefer forwards, but honestly, the Lowrider S has made me kind of like the mids a little bit more. And plus I've been doing a lot of stretching. So a lot of times when I used to get on bikes with mid controls, it just didn't feel comfortable for me because my hips were tight. But now that I stretch a lot more, it doesn't bother me. But if I'm gonna go on a long ride, I prefer forwards. This is a Scout Bobber, man. Man, look, these wreck bikes, some people will say, somebody said volume is trash. Well, I mean, some people said it's good, some people said it's bad. You might have to tweak your volume on your phone. Being a broker sounds like the scam to get into. I would say it's so much as it's a scam. It's just like, it's one of those things where you kind of just have to pay to play. I mean, if you want to get those bikes, it's just kind of what you have to deal with, unfortunately. Let me see what other stuff they got out here. They got Scouts, they got FTRs, they got a bunch of FTRs out here. Holy crap. It's an FTR Championship Edition. This was actually in Atlanta. That's interesting. This is the NPA sales. So you got NPA sales, which are pretty much all the repairs are photoshopped. Let's see. Yeah, oh yeah. So the NPA sales are kind of like, yeah, these are auctions where like a lot of dealers actually get their bikes from, like their used bikes, because they either sell them here or they can buy them from here as well. They're pretty much like immaculate condition. So obviously you're gonna spend a lot more for these, but they are beautiful. Doing what you're doing seems like it would be worth looking into if it would be viable just for to be your own broker. I mean, if you were doing it for other people, maybe. But honestly, dude, I've done this 5 times, and I still feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just for the first time went to a Copart lot the other day for the first time to actually see this stuff in person. So, just to be frank with you, I'm learning it, dude. Like I'm not an expert at this stuff at all. Too bad you're not close. Turning a wrench in the garage on a Saturday night, especially when it gets cold. Where is that? It is. It is. Like right now, I'm drinking coffee. It's not too bad right now. We've had our last week. It got in the 20s, and now it's like 50s. And in the garage, it's probably like upper 50s to 60s. So it's not too bad. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Road King. Make more as a broker than a reseller. Yeah, you probably do. But honestly, I like turning the wrench. That's really the fun for me. I would be doing this even if there was no money involved. I just like doing it. It's just fun. All right. What bikes do y'all want to see, man? Like I said, the whole reason I got on here is just to see if the stream was gonna work like it was supposed to. I wouldn't plan on going this deep into this stuff. But I mean, some people are doom scrolling on TikTok. Some people are doom scrolling on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter or whatever, watching TV. This is what I do. I literally get on here and just look at bikes, and then I have like a bunch of different spreadsheets that have like all these theoretical like parts and stuff that I can kind of like judge my break evens and stuff like that. But you're new here. This is your first. Like, how'd you find it? You just like randomly just jumped on here, Keith? Well, welcome. But if you guys got any questions about this auction stuff, man, definitely reach out to me in email or on Instagram and stuff. Like I said, I'm an open book about the stuff. It's just a lot of it, you have to have patience and research. Like if you tell me like how do I find, brokers to use, or do I need a license? Honestly, as much as I can give you that information, part of it is you have to kind of figure that stuff out yourself within reason. Like if I can tell you, I'm going to tell you, but at the same time, you have to have kind of the skill to kind of go look stuff up, because even when you get a bike, that's pretty much the whole thing. You're going to be looking up parts and figuring out what works. Like if you can find a used part from another bike that would fit on this bike, or trying to find out where you're going to source components from. Like in my case, Indian is an hour and a half in 2 different directions. It would not be effective for me to drive every time I had to order parts. Sometimes I might order something and then I dig deeper into the bike and realize, oh, I need this, right? So I got to drive an hour and a half again just to get it. But I order all my parts online. Now in the case of when I had to get keys programmed, I took the bike over there and had them do it. So there's a part of this where it's like you can learn it, but you also just have to do it. But a lot of it is research. Seems like the Indians are a lot more complicated to work on than the Harleys, especially the engine stuff. Doing the cam on the Indian seemed insane to an Evo. Yeah, the cams are a little bit more involved because you got 3 cams versus 1 in the M8. But there is a blessing and a curse when it comes to the Thunderstroke, because compared to the M8, you got engine and transmission. They're separate. And on the Thunderstroke, engine and transmission are one, like pretty much other bikes. And Harleys have 3 engine oil changes. You got primary, transmission, and engine. The Thunderstroke, you just have the engine. All of it comes out as one. So when it comes to like rebuilding, I would think the Thunderstroke, and I'm kind of biased because I've never worked on the M8 that in depth, I would think the Indian would be easier to work on. Now the Power Plus is a little different because you have more, it's more involved with the radiator and everything. But the Thunderstroke, like for instance, there's only 1 chain in the entire engine, and that's the timing chain. There is no primary chain. It's just a bunch of gears. So it really just depends on how you look at it. But you can just snatch the whole engine out, break it apart, and everything's there. But let's say your transmission goes out. When I messed up the transmission when I was rebuilding it the first time, I had to tear the engine back apart, versus the engine would have already been together, and I just had to take the gearbox out and fix whatever was messed up for an M8. So it depends, man. How do you repair a dented M90 fuel tank? Ideas. You never give me any information. I never give you. Okay, Nathan. Follow my 109 videos, and I fell into the rabbit hole. Yeah, so the 109, my buddy that I grew up with, I call him my brother. his Victory Magnum is here, and the 109 is in Texas. So I still own the 109. It's just not here. When I get his bike fixed, he'll get his bike back, and then I get the 109 back. So he didn't have a bike to ride, so I was like, look, take the 109. So how do you repair a dented? So dents are tricky, man. So it really depends, because you can either it depends on where the dent is, how bad the dent is. But worst case scenario, you have somebody snatch the dent out and you had to have it repainted. It's kind of hard for me to say like where, like what the method of fixing it is, because like there are some people that do something called dentless. No, is it dentless dent repair? Paintless dent repair, where they're able to use these tools to work the dent out, but it also depends on the material, like the thickness of the metal. Like if you have like a Peanut Evo like Sportster tank, those are really easy because that metal is very soft and thin. But if you get something like a Chief tank or that freaking Lowrider S tank, that tank is thicker metal. So trying to get in there and work that tool is going to be a little bit more difficult. And it depends on where the dent is. If it's like somewhere where they can't fit their tools in there, they're gonna have to like weld some studs to it and snatch it out with like a slide hammer. And when they do that, more than likely it's going to damage the paint, and then they're probably gonna have to get Bondo and shape it. So I would probably just take the tank off, drain it, take the fuel pump out, and take it to a body shop and just get an estimate. Or you just take a picture of it and try to send it to somebody and see if they would give you some information on it, like, oh yeah, I could do that or whatever. But at the same time, what I've learned with body shops, it's better to take the thing to them so they can actually put their hands on it and see, because they could say one thing like, I think I could do it. And then when you take it to them, they're like, wait, I didn't know it was like that. So it's a lot better if you just take the thing to them. Thank you, Leroy. Any plans for a Scout? I'd love to see someone do the big board kit. Last time I checked, there's not a video on it yet. I'm thinking about getting another Scout. I've worked at try to bid on one. I've just gotten so used to these Chiefs, man. I like that. I just love that platform. But I am looking at getting some simpler bikes, in essence, to work on, and some cheaper bikes. So if I did get a Scout in, that may leave me a little bit more room to work in something like a big board kit. Because when you get these wreck bikes, there's a fine line between modding something out and repairing something and getting it back to a rideable condition. So every time I get these bikes, my first goal is to make the bike safe to ride. And then whatever I have left over, then I start customizing it within reason. So if I was doing like a straight up build, I would probably do a big board kit, because the money at that point, you're gonna run over. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if you had a budget of 10, by the time you have stuff repaired and buying replacement parts, because Indian parts are freaking expensive. But luckily with a Scout, you'd be working on being able to get older parts, or not older parts, but the used market would be a little bit more vast than something like a 2022 Indian Chief that just came out. The Scout's been out since, really it's been out since what, 16, but the Scout Bobber was 17, 18. But anyway, all those parts are interchangeable. So you have more access to used parts. So you can there's more room to play with, right? So it really just depends. The M50, my first bike was an M50. Love that bike. Love it. Like, I love the M50. Need to make more videos with that dude that has the Challenger. He's hilarious. So yeah, Morris, man, we've been trying to link up. He's been having some, life issues going on. So that's the reason why. But at some point, I'm either gonna get his bike over here or he's gonna come over here. It's just a matter of timing. But no, he's coming back. Saw someone do cams and change on the Power Plus. Seems like more of a headache with having to feed the change through the heads as opposed to the Thunderstroke. Yeah, so that's another reason why I wanted to get a Scout in here, because while the engines are not the same, the Scout and the Power Plus design language are very similar with the radiator and the cams and setup and everything. So very different from the Thunderstroke. So that's why I wanted a Scout. When you're familiar with Thunderstroke, how interested am I in the Power Plus? To be completely honest, man, I like the Power Plus, but I'm not really interested in the Challenger like that. I've ridden it, it's great, but it's because it's in a bagger. It's not really as interested in it. But when Indian does come out with a Power Plus based Chief, I'll be more interested in it. It's just I just don't like the platform like that as far as the baggers and stuff go. But look, if somebody were to give me one, or if I would rebuild one, yeah, 100%. But as far as my excitement goes, it's like it's a bagger, it's great, but I would love to see it more, just like a lot of people would see it in a different chassis. But if I had the skill set, I would totally try to take a Power Plus engine and put it in a Chief. I would totally do that. We just ain't there yet. And by the time I even get that skill set, they probably would just come out with one. You know what I mean? So it's timing, to be honest with you. Get a Scout Rogue for the wife and you can sell it when she grows out of it. Man, my wife is clumsy, bro. she is clumsy. I think that's probably the worst thing I could do is get her a Scout Rogue. She is very clumsy. But she would totally do it though. What else y'all got for me, man? Because I'm actually missing the Alabama game, bro. Georgia and Alabama playing right now. Will be exciting when people start wrecking sports chiefs. I want to see you go nuts. Dude, there's actually a sport chief out here. I'm gonna show you. I was already looking at one. It's been out here for a minute, actually. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up. I am going to show you that sport chief. Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna be able to do that before Indian does. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Let me show you this freaking sport chief. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. Here's that sport chief. All right. So this sport chief has been out here for a minute. At least 2.5, 3 weeks. This is not the first sport chief out here. It's been like 3 or 4. But dude, you gotta think about it. If you can think it, there's people wrecking bikes every day. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. It's just business. Sport chief's the Dynasty Slayer. Until that Buell drops. So to think about the Buell, man, it is awesome that there's a company willing to do that. I just worry about the longevity of it because I wouldn't know where to get a Buell serviced. Now, granted, I'm gonna work on my stuff myself, but for something like that, me spending that kind of money on it, that's my first question: is where I'm gonna get this thing serviced? Because again, I already have to drive an hour, 30 minutes just to get Indian serviced. But I guess I would have to drive to Atlanta just to get a Buell service. So, and technically it's, yeah. So you can't get that service at Harley. It's an entirely different company. So, yeah. But as far as the hype and everything goes around it, absolutely, that's awesome. All right, man. Stop by just to say hello. The show was great. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, this sport chief. I'm gonna show you guys this thing, and I'm freaking get up off of here because this was not supposed to be this long. This is more for me. And y'all got me here looking at bikes, man. But, oh yeah, the Sport Chief. So this thing honestly was not that bad. It looks like they took a low side on the right after probably hitting something on the front end, if I can remember. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the low side right there. You see the exhaust is all scuffed up. The rear fender looks good. And the issue right here, you see that front end? See that fairing? Fender. See, you got some... Can't edit this stuff out on live, right? Give the man some lights to maintain it. I appreciate it, guys. They don't have the manufacturer capability at that price. Yeah, so I don't really know, man. Like I don't know enough about it. That's one thing for me is I don't talk too much about things that I don't know or at least have some experience with. So I kind of just let stuff play out before I kind of jump in there to try to talk about it. But the Sport Chief, but I hope they do well. I can't wait to see the thing on the street. I think it's going to be incredible with the, I forget what the Sport Bike engine they have in there. It's like 180 horsepower and so many pound-feet of torque. Like, it's freaking amazing. But no, what was wrong with the Sport Chief is you might look at this and go, okay, that's not that bad. But the problem is the suspension. There's a kink in the suspension right here on the fork. So the problem with that is you can't buy, at this time, you cannot buy the lower fork leg for a Sport Chief, which means that you could buy this bike, take the whole front end off, be ready to replace it, and you can't fix it because Indian doesn't sell the part right now. So Nathan had an issue with that because he's been doing some work on the first Chief that we did the giveaway on. He's done a lot of work with that bike, and he's been trying to get Sport Chief parts. And at one point in time, he couldn't because they weren't selling the part. But eventually, they finally started selling that part. So the problem is when you try to rebuild newer bikes, like brand new bikes, you can run into that issue where not only the parts are going to be more expensive, but you run into a supply issue. So yeah, but in this bike, that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to get it, because you can't get the front end fixed right now. You can put any sport in and people will be fine with it. I mean, yeah, you could. So you're like the one-stop shop for quality content that isn't just reviews. Yeah, we got you looking at the bikes, but that's why we're here, because we love bikes too. You're the one of the people make quality. Hey, I appreciate it, man. So the thing with the reviews, I stopped doing the reviews, man, because I just got to where I just wasn't enjoying them as much. I could go back and forth about how this bike feels, whether or not it makes me happy, but at the same time, it's just like I still want people to like go out and test ride the bikes themselves, because to me that's the determining factor for me. But another thing is the cool part about the wreck bikes is if there's a bike that I really want and I can't get from a press fleet, which is very rare. Like, it's hard for me to get bikes in here when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I was like, look, I need to be able to buy, like if I want the bike, I'll just buy it. And that's that's kind of why I started doing this rebuild stuff as well, because I can't get bikes from anybody. So it's like I had the Chieftain, but it just didn't work out like it was supposed to. So I was like, look, if I want something, I'll just buy it. It'll take me longer to get there. But the reviews, man, I don't get invited out to the press events like that. So when it comes to the reviews, it's almost like a muscle. Like when I get in the mode of rebuilding, I'm in that mode. When I'm in the mode of riding, I'm in that mode. So I can make videos off of that back to back to back. But when it comes to a review, there's a lot more that's involved, because I try to be so thorough where people don't have to ask a question in the comments where they say, how's this or how's that? What's your height? You know, what's your inseam? Or I want to see what you look like sitting on the bike, or how does it ride in the twisties, or what's the engine temperatures like, or, you know, how did you feel after a 40-mile ride? Things like that. So it's like I have to sit down and really write as many of my thoughts down as possible and try to compile it all, then go out and get the shots, and then try to build it into some type of story. So it takes me a lot longer to do those, and it's just I haven't done one in a while, so it would take a good bit for me to kind of switch back on to like, okay, we're not doing rebuilds, we're not doing just motor vlogs, we're doing a thought piece, and that to do it right the way that I like doing it, it's a different mindset. See, one of the first ones is better front end. I wonder why if there's the same lowers as the Pursuit. I had to buy a new Challenger lowers and they look the same. You probably already looked that up though. I did a while ago. Honestly, Nathan, I think you're a little bit more, you have more experience and knowledge on that than I do, because I looked at the Challenger front end with the sport. Because you remember when I did the Sport Chief, I priced all the parts out and kind of tried to figure out like, yeah, if you're gonna do a front end conversion, this is what you have to do. But when it came to like actually doing it, like you got way more experience than I do in that, because when you bought the triple, you realize like the risers didn't line up. See, I would have got caught out by that, because that's not something you really know until you're actually in it, right? So watching you do stuff you're not knowing what you're doing inspired me to tear into my stuff not knowing what I was doing. Absolutely, man. When I do this, when I did the Chief the first time, I did have the manual, but when I did the lowrider, the majority of that I did not have the manual. I was freely doing that stuff. The only time I looked up the manual is when I was doing the torque specs. So yeah, that was the cool part about the cruisers, and another reason why I did the Indians back to back to back like that is because you have to get into like a rhythm when you're doing this rebuild stuff. At least that's the way I wanted to do it, because I wasn't trying to do just a one-trick pony rebuild. I wanted to do this over and over and over again. So for me, I work better when I'm consistently doing the same thing, because when I go back and do it, I can tear a Chief down. I could have a Chief strip down in a day now. Like that's just how efficient I am with that bike. So the lowrider, as far as the body parts, front suspension, gas tank, rear fender, I could have that stuff stripped down in 2 hours maybe. So that's the way I like to work. I know some people will say, well, we want to see you do this or that. I'm like, well, I haven't worked up to that. Now like having I do like having a challenge while I'm working on something that I'm consistently doing, right? So this time I did the Chiefs while I was working on the lowrider because the lowrider was the challenge. So next time it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge where I'm going to be doing something completely different. But because I'm dialing back on price of these bikes. These bikes are getting expensive to rebuild, especially these Indians and not necessarily Indian, but the mid-tier cruisers when you're going from like, you know, cheap, like instead of like Scout, you're doing cheap. Instead of Sportster, you're doing lowrider. See what I'm saying? Those mid-tier bikes are a little bit more expensive because the market right now is just like there's more supply than there is demand. And then when you're bidding for these bikes, you're bidding against other people that are trying to get a deal. And you're also bidding against a bunch of people that are, or companies that are parting out bikes. So for them, they're just looking at it like, I don't care if the frame's bent. I don't care if that rear wheel is messed up. I just want the engine and I want this, this, and this, and this, because I know the bike's worth more to me in pieces than it is together. So that's, you're playing the game against those kind of people too. You can barely hear it. You know, that's weird, man, Dorman, because some people say that they can hear it and some people say they can hear it well and some people say they can't hear it well. So I'd say this, turn your volume up. So I'll answer the phone when you call this time. So you should do a crossover where you mod another YouTuber's bike. Wildcard Adventures, absolutely, man. I would love to be able to do that. Dude, to be completely honest, I would love to be able to just build a bike and not have to worry about the money and just give it to somebody, like straight up. I would love to be able to fly out to a subscriber's place and deck their garage out with tools to get them started rebuilding bikes. I've thought about buying wrecked bikes and just ship it to a friend that I know is also a YouTuber's house and just say, hey, have fun. Because I know there's a specific bike that they want. Just ship it to them. Yeah, there's so many ideas that I run, but it's just like the limit right now is just money because it's expensive. But the shipping stuff is actually getting a little bit better. So that's that. See, you said it's loud and clear. I don't really know, man. It's kind of weird. But yo, if y'all could rate this, let me know. I know some of you are having issues with the audio, but what's going on with the quality of everything? Because like I said, we're running on the camera that I use for the actual videos. So work with Blockhead for that, man. It's got the big head. Blockhead's a great guy, man. I love Block. My N109 needs your attention. What's going on with your N109, man? I remember you had it in the shop a while ago. My wife is waving cookies at me behind the camera. I like cookies. Okay, but yeah, this tomorrow we're gonna do the see some people. I guess I would be your camera guy for free with my own gear. I'd appreciate it, man. I tell you, I can talk about this stuff all day. So if you guys want to jump off, please. I was not expecting to be here this long as I'm always am, because tomorrow I'm only planning to be on this stream for like 20 minutes. I want to get in and get out. That's what I want to do. But no, it's a lot of work, man. Filming the bikes. YouTubers, man. Block, Shade Tree, Her Two Wheels, Wild Hog Adventures, Bearded Bob. Anybody that's doing this stuff, man. It is difficult to do this stuff and be consistent at it. Because a lot of times you'll be wanting to go for a ride and then you'll go, you know, do I want to turn my camera on or do I just want to ride? And there's a fine line that you have to like kind of balance with that. But me with the rebuilds, a lot of times I just want to come out here and just turn a wrench and just do the thing. But I'm like, oh, I gotta record this. I gotta film this because they're gonna want to see this. And then when I look back at this, you know, several years down the road, I'll be able to go back and say, we did that in the garage and we're able to show that. Because one of the more challenging ones that I had to kind of make a compromise on was the Super Chief, the white one when I did the frame swap. That was a very laborious rebuild because I did a full frame swap. That rebuild was so detailed as far as like every like little bolt and screw and stuff. I would tell you, I probably showed you probably 95% of what's involved with that bike up close and personal where somebody could actually replicate it. And that's what I did. But the compromise on that was I had to drop back on explaining a lot of it because I knew that I condensed that video from like 4 or 5 hours over the course of like a week down to like 30 some minutes. And so, you know, you have to make some compromises when it comes to that kind of stuff because it can like the engine rebuild where we did the Thunderstroke. That was a 6.5 hour long video over the course of like 3 or 4 months. And I filmed it in a way, or I edited it in a way where you couldn't even tell. So, you know, and I condensed it down to like 35 minutes. So it's a slippery slope. I would tell her, you said hi, Nathan. Block budget would be a sick Indian, man. Yeah, I mean, Block has been in this, oh my goodness. Block is an inspiration, man. He's been doing this out of his garage. He did it out of his garage and made it to the outside of the garage thing. And I remember him telling me when I went with him and Her Two Wheels out in LA, and we rode from LA down to Santa Barbara for the press ride for the Lowrider ST and the Nightster 975. Was it the Nightster 975? Yeah. The Nightster. He told me that he basically went like, I think it was like over a year just nonstop, because he knew like once he moved, he made that leap, it was like, I just gotta go. Like he couldn't stop, and he was like, there were no days off. And that was very inspiring to see, you know, where he started and obviously what they're doing now. It's incredible, man. It's freaking incredible. Radio call is good. I just want to use my Chromebook tomorrow. I'm retired veteran. You ever link up with Black? I have not linked up with Black Dragon. Jazz, I enjoy watching you work out. I'm just reading you guys' comments because I'm kind of just talking right out in the open. But if I was young and had found you, I think I would be trying to do the same thing. It's brilliant. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Almost bought a 2013 Iron that's not running for 5K. Person did a big board from 900 to 1200 in the process. They messed it up and now it's not running. Hey, man. That could be an opportunity. Hey, Digby's. Let's see. What else? Ever been to Australia? I've only been out of the country once, and that was to Mexico. That was for vacation. What's up, T? Parts far more expensive to replace and too expensive to replace the engine. Ended up going to the highest bidder. It sucks living in Canada when it comes to pricing on parts. I agree, man. Yeah, that's kind of how I am with the shipping. So where I live at, I am on the cuff of the beginning of a very major interstate, like mile marker 1, and another major one runs parallel, perpendicular. So, you know, this way and up. And I'm able to get to different places really fast. So I got all these different lots, the Copart lots. Now that I have access to them, I can go all around my state. There's like 5 of them. So I've decided to try to save on shipping and physically go and try to get bikes that are closer to me. Not only if I have to have it shipped, it saves money. And if I can go pick it up myself, obviously, my Copart dealer or lot that's here is only like 15 minutes away. So obviously that's even advantageous. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, you have to kind of find what the strengths are and the compromises. But again, that comes down to research, whether it be like finding a bunch of used parts. Maybe that, again, for you, that bike wasn't the right one, but you know, at some point, since you're actively looking, you may find the one that's for you. And then again, weighing the pros and cons, like, okay, I can spend more here on parts, so I got to dial back because of shipping. Oh, I can actually find these parts on eBay. It's to me, I feel like it's 40% wrenching, 40% research, budgeting, and all that kind of stuff. 20% whatever. Do I still own the 109? Yes, I still own the 109. Do the drawing now. I'm not gonna do the drawing now. I'm not gonna do it now. Can you ride year round, or do you get snow in your state? We get snow once a year, once every few years. And when I say snow, it's like it's flurries. It doesn't actually stick. But every so often, we get that one snowstorm that's like, where did this come from? And but no, we get true 4 seasons, like winter, summer, spring, and fall. Like I can ride year round. And plus, I think the lowest I'll ride is probably mid-20s. And it won't be far, but I will ride in 20s. I'll turn wrenches on everything that isn't covered under warranty. You know what's crazy? Wreck bikes actually still have warranties on them. Not necessarily these, but if you, like, let's say you bought a wreck bike, a salvage bike, and you wrecked it, or no, let me drop back. No editing here, so you're getting it live. Let's say you bought a wreck bike that was salvaged, and it was 3 months old. That bike still has a 1-year warranty on it. Now, within reason, you can't take like a smashed front end to them and say, hey, warranty the parts. But if you fix that thing and a sensor goes out or something, you can argue that that sensor it can still be replaced under warranty, because that wasn't the thing that the accident didn't affect that. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like the, I forget the law, but there's the right to repair laws, and there's another law in there. I forget whatever the law is, but yeah, you can totally still get stuff replaced under warranty. But did you say you know someone who did a front end conversion on a Chief? Yeah, Nathan Dunn. You can look up his name. He is working on a Challenger conversion for the Chief, the front end. He's doing it all with parts that you can buy. It's not like it's anything fabricated. But he ran into a couple of challenges, which he does explain very thoroughly on his channel. Do you think it's necessary to tune a bike out the new exhaust and high flow air cleaner? If you're just doing slip-ons, and I'm not an expert in this, if you're doing just slip-ons, no. But if you start changing air filters out and you're bringing in, introducing more air, sucking in more air, now you're messing with the fuel to air ratio. So yeah, it will make you, will it run? Yeah. Is it gonna run the best? No. But if you're just doing slip-ons, it'll be fine. But if you're doing that, yeah, you're gonna probably wanna get a tune. I should check for warranty on my 86 calorie project bike. You totally should. They might laugh at you, but hey, it's worth a shot. But hey, man, ever seen a modern Springer on a Chief? Yeah, so there was a person in the Indian Chief forums on Facebook that did a really interesting Springer raked out front end. Was it a chopper or was it a Springer with the springs? I don't remember, but there's some sick stuff out there on the forums. The guy had a shop do it, and they ended up changing the gas tank. They put a slimmer gas tank on it. I don't remember if it was hardtailed though. I don't know. I don't remember. But somebody's definitely been doing some crazy work. Brandon, sell me a Thunderhead for Evo Soft. Dude, I ain't got the engines in here, man. Did you see the dealer who did the FTR conversion on the Chief? Yeah. Yeah, so I want to say the race bikes. Do the race bikes use FTR front ends? The Hooligan setup? I don't remember. But listen up, guys. I'm about to get out of here, man, because I gotta go do some stuff. So like I said, I will be back on here tomorrow. But I was only supposed to be on here 10 minutes. But you see how I ramble. This is why I had to edit stuff. But I got on here to test some stuff out just to make sure tomorrow everything goes smoothly. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and talking stuff. But let me know. I would totally get back on here, man, and do some more bike stuff. I love looking at wrecked bikes. I can do this stuff all day. I love it. Look at this right here, this Roadmaster. This is the opportunity that's out here. Look at this, bro. Look at this. This is an icon. This is a freaking Roadmaster icon that's out here. I could look at this stuff all freaking day. What else is out here? We got Challengers. Let's see. We got FTR rallies. We got